Hey, what is up? Thank you for joining. So today I want to check out a few little ideas, some basic tips to improve your playing. These things are really simple concepts. However, they're really powerful and will bring your playing sort of to the next level, in my opinion. I see a lot of beginner to intermediate players that don't have this in their bag. It's not really a trick, and it's something that will remain constant and consistent in your playing. I don't really hear too many people online talking about it because it seems really elementary, simple, whatever you want to call it. But bear with me. There's going to be 3 tips and you can include it in your playing immediately, and that's the whole idea. So let's get into it. So I am a big advocate for right hand anchoring. This is really only when we're playing single notes. When we're strumming, it doesn't matter, but this right hand anchoring thing is, it's changed people's sound like within the first minute of when I've shown people. It's blown their mind. Essentially, it's connecting the right hand to a part of the guitar, part of the body of the guitar. Some people, you notice, and look, there are exceptions to this rule. I guess like guys like Marty Friedman don't really do it this way. They have their own sort of sound. But this has really worked for me. So the idea is that we link our hand to a part of the guitar. We lock that in. Okay. Now, as we play, let's say the E string, I'm resting on the body of the guitar. If we were to go to the high E string, I'm then resting on the strings. Okay. Now the idea is that we're tracking the strings as we go along. It's the same technique as we move across the strings, the whole string set. Okay, so keep an eye on my right hand as I play through some lines and just watch how I'm always connected to the guitar when I'm playing these single note lines. So it's really beneficial because it means that I don't have to look at my right hand when I'm playing. I can pluck any string based on the technique, right? So, and it's not just for playing fast, like in the blues kind of thing, it works really well. Right? So I'm always locked in with that right hand. The other thing that it is crucial for is muting the unwanted open strings. So you notice when I'm playing those higher strings, and look, this may be obvious to some of you, but for some people it's never really dawned on them. So when I'm playing the higher strings, it's really clean in the sense that all you can hear is the tonality of each note. It's not... Hear all that extra noise? I don't want that to ring out, especially when I'm playing a gig and we're playing with really loud amps. So those vibrations, especially when I'm moving around at a gig, the actual body of the guitar moving around will cause extra unwanted noise. So I want to just stop that from happening, and that is why that anchoring technique is so crucial and important. So get that happening in your playing. That actually leads us nicely to the second tip. So the second tip is the left hand doing a lot of the muting as well. So my right hand takes care of, let's say I'm playing the 7th fret G. My right hand with the anchoring technique mutes the lower strings, so the E, A, and D. And my left hand, if you'll see, my first finger is rolled across those higher strings. So my left hand takes care of those higher strings. So this is where, if we were in person, I often get my students to lean over and brush the open strings of the guitar. I don't have anyone else here to do that, so you'll have to take my word for it. But whenever I'm playing single notes, everything except for the note that I want to hear is muted, and that's really, really important. It's a balancing act with the right and the left hand. So again, when I'm playing a single note, my left hand, the first finger rolls across the higher strings, and then my right hand takes care of the lower strings. Okay, so what if we're playing, let's say on the E string? You'll notice that my first finger is rolled across the string set. Okay, and that's just like a safety net. That's an excellent way to improve your sound. Now, that as a bass technique is really, really important for the next two tips. So that's why I included it first, okay? Because that's gonna sort of affect a lot of the other things that we do on the guitar. So once you've mastered that, it's gonna bring your playing and your sound up to the next level. It's gonna be unreal. So let's move on to the next tip. I wanna talk about bending. So the whole idea with bending is obviously it has to be in tune. That's a given, which is a task in itself. But we want the bend to be clean. Now, what I mean by clean is when we, for example, release the bend, we don't want any other string noise. So I see a lot of people when they bend, there's some open string noise there. And sometimes your finger can get caught in the adjacent string. So like that G, that G string might ring out, or whatever other string that you're next to. You know what I mean? So part of the anchoring technique takes care of that. However, I'm going to show you something that blew my mind. I was watching, this is years ago, watching guys like Steve Lukather play, Eddie. And what I noticed that they do is their first finger acts as like a guard, a safeguard for the next string. Check this out. So this is when we're releasing the note. I'm trying to make it really obvious. So you'll notice that my first finger is muting that adjacent string. So then when we put vibrato on it, there's only that note being rung out. So when we're bending on the high E string, there's a lot of room for error, especially if we want to release that note. Say we're playing a nice melody. You'll notice that when I play that, and I've got no reverb on purpose, I'm fully exposed as a dry, distorted tone. So when I'm bending up, I've got that safeguard there. And then when I release, there's absolutely no extra noise because of that first finger. It's crucial. So in combination with the first tip, that bending technique really, really works well. Now, this may be really, really obvious to some people, but others it's not. It was never obvious to me in the early stages. I had to sort of learn the hard way, and that's cool. That's why I'm telling you. Now, I am playing with no reverb. I'm not hiding anything. So that means that when I put on the verb and I put on the delay, it's not doubling up. Because if you have a lot of noise without that stuff, imagine what it is with delay. It's just adding on trails of noise with reverb, just adding on noise. So maybe some of you have never tried that before, but I definitely recommend it, and really audit your own playing. That's the whole idea. We're auditing it like at the end of the financial year when we assess everything in our finances. I want you to do a similar thing with your playing and just really go through those 3 tips. There's so many more that I could check out, but those 3 I find are really, really important and really, really crucial to your overall sound and execution on the instrument. So hopefully you got something out of that, guys. Thanks so much. And again, comment below if you've got any questions. I'm happy to chat and help you out in any way I can. Thanks again. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys.